Check out FlipsideGaming.com for all your gaming needs. Use the promo code HEROES to save 10% on all orders over $10 and support the channel at the same time. Hey there, this is John from Heroes and Legends, and it's that time of the week again where we look back and see the results of last weekend's major tournaments. This week, it's all about Grand Prix Birmingham. This was the largest strictly standard event that's happened since Dominaria has entered the metagame. So we're going to get a really good look at how these new cards are impacting the meta. Also, there was a legacy event, which, spoiler alert, had one of our favorite cards from Dominaria in a couple of the decks in the top 8. More on that in just a few moments. Now, quickly before we get started, just a really fast reminder, if you check out the description below, you'll find a few ways to help support what we do here at the channel, one of which is our Patreon page. Also, you'll find links to products on Amazon down below. If you make any purchases on Amazon, once you go through that link, no matter what it is, we'll get a small percentage for the channel. Finally, Flipside Gaming, still offering a promo code for our viewers. Hopefully you can save some cash while you support what we do here. And as always, thank you not only to the folks that look at those links, but to all the viewers. You all make the channel what it is. So thank you, and without any further ado, let's get into it. We'll begin with that Legacy top 8. You can see here there's actually a lot of diversity right now in Legacy. Mono Red Prison coming in first, piloted by Gary Campbell. And then the rest of the decks, there is variety here at least. Grixis Delver coming in second, third, and seventh. However, beyond that, you have Steel Stompy coming in fourth, Dredge coming in fifth, Grixis Kess coming in sixth, and Four Color Leovold coming in eighth. Now, like I said a moment ago, yes, one of our favorite cards is in a couple of these decks. That would, of course, be Karn Sign of Urza. 2 copies in the winning Mono Red Prison deck, and also in that 4th place Artifact Stompy deck, a couple copies out of the board. Kind of crazy that this card is having that much of an impact on Legacy so quickly. Now, let's move on to Standard, see what's going on there. And here it is, the results of the Standard GP. And unfortunately, a little less diversity here compared to Legacy. You can see Red-Black Vehicles was just super dominant this weekend, coming in first, third, fourth, sixth, seventh, and eighth. Now, coming in second, we got a Blue-White Control Builds, and coming in 5th place, a Green-Black Constrictor. So we're going to look at these deck lists, but we're also going to look at some that came in the top 32, just so you get an idea of what kind of decks are still performing well. Again, this is a large tournament. A lot of decks that didn't make the top 8 are still very viable. Here's the first place deck, Red-Black Vehicles, piloted by Simon Nielsen. Now, you can see this deck list is very reminiscent of a deck that you're really familiar with, Mardu Vehicles. It has changed and shifted a little bit. Obviously, it's not running the white right now, and it is running a couple of the new cards from Dominaria. Now, the cards that are in this deck that made a big impact this weekend overall, Karn Sign of Urza again, and Goblin Chainwhirler. Both of these cards had huge weeks, and you'll notice that as we go through these deck lists today. I mean, just considering how powerful this deck alone was, you could say these 2 cards had a huge week, but they are seen in other places as well. Out of the sideboard, hey, another copy of Karn Sign of Urza, because why not? Can't have too many. Alright, let's look at that Blue-White Control build. Now, this came in second place, and these decks have been performing very well at the Star City Games Open Week 1 and Week 2. They probably overall have the largest influence of cards from Dominaria that we saw have a successful weekend at GP Birmingham. So let's take a look at those Dominaria cards that are in here. You get Teferi, Hero of Dominaria, Seal Away. A little surprised I didn't see more Seal Away in some of the various decks this weekend. It felt like it was everywhere at the Star City Games events. Blink of an Eye, Syncopates, and Memorial to Genius. In the sideboard, History of Benalia and Invoke the Divine. Here's that 5th place Green-Black Constrictor build. Again, probably pretty familiar to you if you've been following the meta over the last couple weeks. This is an evolution of a deck that, of course, was very good in the past, but it does run a few cards from the new set, which do make a big impact. Llanowar Elves, Adventurous Impulse, as well as Woodland Cemetery. Out of the sideboard, this version had a cast down. Okay, let's move on to some of the decks that were in the top 32. And now, in 12th place, we have this Steel Leaf Stompy deck. Although personally, I would probably consider this more of a vehicles deck. It's running 4 Heart of Curians. Out of the sideboard, you have 2 Aethersphere Harvesters. But regardless, this is a deck that did pretty well in the second week of the Star City Games events, as a matter of fact. And has the opportunity, I think, to continue doing well going forward. Some of the key cards which really make this deck are Llanowar Elves, Steel Leaf Champion. Again, you see Woodland Cemetery. Out of the sideboard, this time we get Vicious Offering. Coming in 13th was a mono red aggro build, and this is another build that's been very successful over the first couple weeks. so not surprising to see it here. Maybe what is surprising, though, is the lack of new cards. As a matter of fact, this one only has Goblin Chain Whirler. Now, at the sideboard, you do get 3 copies of Fight with Fire, which is actually pretty cool. But Goblin Chain Whirler, again, is the card, other than Karn, perhaps, that had the huge week. Coming in 14th was another Vehicles deck, but this time it was white-black Vehicles. And as you can see, just by glancing at this deck list, yep, you guessed it, Karn Scion of Urza is back again in force with 4 copies. You also have Lyra Dawnbringer, History of Benalia, and Isolated Chapel in the main. In the sideboard, Invoke the Divine. Black-red. So this one is not a black-red vehicle deck. This is more of a black-red aggro deck. And we saw a lot of these perform well in the first couple weeks. So this one did not do bad, coming in 17th place. Again, the only card you see from Dominaria, though, is Goblin Chain Whirler, at least in this particular build. Coming in 22nd place, Grixis Chain Whirler. I actually wanted to show you this one because I thought this was kind of cool. Taking a lot of elements from the last meta that were successful and then bringing some of the new elements in, namely Chain Whirler. But you can see here the Scarab God's even making a little bit of a comeback with 3 copies in this particular deck. So what do we get? We get Goblin Chain Whirler and we get Sulphur Falls from Dominaria. 27th place, Blue-Black Midrange. Another deck that feels like it's coming from the last meta, but does have some very important upgrades from Dominaria here. There's the Scarab God again, trying to rally back a little bit. Now, 27th place isn't hyper impressive, but when you consider there was over 1,000 people in this tournament, 27th place is not bad at all. Karn Scion of Urza, of course, in the main with Cast Down this time. Out of the sideboard, another copy of Cast Down, and also the Eldest Reborn. That's a new one. 29th place, White-Blue Gift. A little surprised we didn't see a mono-red gift deck put up a bigger result, but this is the gift deck that did the best last weekend, and it was white-blue. As a matter of fact, it's running no new cards from Dominaria. This is truly the deck list from the previous meta. 32nd place, finally, is Grixis Energy, with a couple copies of the Scarab God. Not a lot of influence here from Dominaria, just simply 3 copies of Syncopate. Okay, so those are our results from the past weekend. Yeah, red-black vehicles, that makes me a little bit nervous. I would hate to see this meta kind of fall into the trap of just the dominant 1, 2, or 3 decks that we've seen in recent standards. However, we did see a lot of diversity week 1 and week 2. I'm holding out hope that now that everyone knows red-black vehicles is the deck to beat, that there's more hate and sideboarding against it, which could lead to some better diversity in the coming weeks leading up and going past the Pro Tour. At least that's my hope anyway. We'll see how it pans out. Now, if you've been wanting to pick up some of these Dominaria singles, but they've been really expensive because of all the standard play they've been seeing, well, this week there is a little bit of a cooling off when it comes to results. So that could lead to a cooling off when it comes to pricing too. We'll take a look at that in a couple days in a special edition of the Market Watch, see how everything kind of evens out. Now, with the exception of Karn and Goblin Chain Whirler, some other cards may be going down in value a little bit. So we'll keep a close eye on that as we always do. But until next time, hey, thanks for watching. Please remember to like and subscribe, and have a great day. Hey, thanks for watching. This video is made possible by the generous support of viewers like you on Patreon. Check out the description below for links to our Patreon page as well as our Amazon affiliate store, where a small percentage of all sales will also help support the channel. Finally, if you haven't had a chance yet to subscribe, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any new videos on Heroes and Legends. Talk to you again soon, and have a great day.